I've already made 50 shots within 5 to 7 feet before I step out to 15 feet. And I'm not just talking about shooting it like this, where I'm shooting a set shot. I mean, right. I'm working on this, where I'm shooting a bank shot, moving to my next spot. You know, get me here. I'm shooting it up. This is a 6-foot shot. It's right. A tough shot.
That's a real.
And it's something that I work on every day.
Right. But so far as form, trajectory,
I think your form,
where your hands finish, it's all the same.
It's all the same. It's the consistency that we've touched on a lot. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I sometimes do change on these shots is I shoot it a little bit softer. And when I mean softer, I mean put a little bit more arc on it.
How? How do you do that?
An easier way is to hold a higher follow through. Maybe even cock your wrist back a little bit more, just to get the ball back in that pocket a little bit more, so it's more of an arc.
Can you demonstrate and exaggerate that a little bit?
Yeah. So let's say I'm dribbling to my left here, and my man's trailing me. Big guy is coming over to cut me off, and I need to put a little bit of arc on the shot. So I just shoot it a little bit higher release. Up here.
I did notice you a little further back. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's the easiest way.
2 shooting workouts.
JJ, I know you probably got a ton of shooting drills, but if I had to only ask you for 1 or 2, well, what would it be?
Well, I think the one that I use the most, and it's a very common shooting drill, and probably everybody does it, is just to make five shots at each of the 5 spots. So again, I do a progression. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make 5 shooting from the 15-foot line, then I'll step back, make 5 shooting from the college 3, then 5 from the NBA 3, and then I'll go to each spot, the wing, the top of the key, the opposite wing, and the opposite corner. Mm-hmm. But I think my favorite drill, I don't even know what I call it, but basically I start out on the sideline over here. I'm going to sprint in into the elbow. I'm going to make a 1-2, rise up and shoot it. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to sprint to half court, come back in, make a 1-2, rise up and shoot it. Right. I'm going to sprint to the opposite baseline, come back in, and I'm going to make a 1-2 with the opposite, inside foot. So like that.
Right, left.
Okay,
left.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Then back to half court, back to there. Basically, the goal is to make 10 before you miss 5. And if you do that, then the drill's over. If you don't, then you got to sprint and you do the drill again.
Competing against yourself there.
Exactly. Right? And I think the reason I like that drill so much is because, one, you're competing. You're basically to beat the pro game. It's right. Something where you use your imagination. But also there's some conditioning involved. Mm-hmm. Because if you really go hard in this drill, when you get done with it, you should be a little bit winded. Right.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing I really like is you've got one that you're just coming straight in on the goal, and you could choose a 1-2, you could choose a hop, whatever you're comfortable with. But on these 2, you're coming in at angles.
Yeah.
And you've got to pivot and square up, which
inside
may be the most
pivot.
important
Right, exactly.
thing. And I notice you're choosing.
It's a great footwork drill. It really is.
Right. Great. And you get some conditioning there.
Exactly.
Well, huh?
Exactly.
Very nice.
Developing a quick draw.
I don't see it as much, but I've seen it with you. You got a great quick draw. I don't hear people talk about it very much, okay? Because I guess it's not a flashy move, It's not a, I didn't break your ankles and make you fall down with the move, but I see you being guarded, and it seems as though the defender says, I'm sufficiently close to discourage it, and yet you go from set to gone before I can even get off the ground. What I would call a quick draw, right? You drill that?
That's something I've worked on so much. And again, it's something that requires very little motion. Let me just show you a really quick drill to do.
Okay.
For a quick draw shot.
Quick draw? Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be in this position right here. Okay?
Right.
You pass me the ball. I'm going right up and shooting a 3. Okay?
Okay.
You get the rebound. I'm back in this position.
Okay.
You're going to hit me here. I'm going to go right up. Like that. Okay? Basically, I do that, and eventually it gets to about, you know, I make, you know, 20 or whatever.
Right.
So that's an easy way. And that's all that is as little motion as possible. It's shooting in the pocket, but it's as little motion as possible. And then you get to the point where you're catching it on the wing and you're facing up. You got it here. You're right up. You're already in that pocket. You're already used to shooting with as little motion as possible.
Well, I've noticed when you moved me off earlier, and you moved me off, you reset to that that consistent starting point from where your quick draw comes from.
Exactly. Exactly. Right? I mean, I've gotten to the point now where, again, I showed you this earlier. Come out and guard me, but you know, this is something I've been working on